Morning, guys. I want to share with you today an idea I got from Stephen Covey in his book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And it is the idea of living a principle centered life. To me, this has helped me out so much, and I hope it helps you. This is something that I believe will allow us to deal with the complexities of change that happen outside of us. See, if we have even in that one word, and you see me talking about my one word, determination, every one word which is revolving around a truth principle will eventually connect and converge with other truth principles. These things last, they've lasted forever. And if we can find our one word, that one thing that is in our life that we know we're drawn to and we can follow, if we're centered around one, even one correct principle, nothing outside of us, not people, not circumstances, not anything can take away our freedom, peace, and happiness. Have a great day, everybody.
If you think about what makes up who we are, so obviously there's genetics, there's our genetic makeup, so our predisposition, our propensities, and that makes up a percentage of how we see the world and how we show up. But then the rest of it we're trained on. So we're trained to see the world a certain way. So there are certain people that have something called a negativity bias. And the negativity bias is nothing more than they see the negative first. It's not that they don't see the positive, but they see the negative first. There's other people who see positive first. They have a positivity bias and they see that first. And the truth is, in almost every situation, in every circumstance, there's both. You can train somebody to recognize that there's always both, just like every inside has an outside, every one side of a coin has another side of a coin, every up has a down. That's called the law of polarity. And in the universe that we live in, there is that law of polarity. And so you can teach somebody, say, okay, if your propensity, if the way you naturally are is negativity biased first, great, be aware of that. Then flip over. We call it flip the switch. So if one side of your brain is going negativity first, great. Learn to flip the switch. Go, great. What's the positive side of that? That's a skill you can learn, no differently than playing tennis or chess or music.
You can choose at any moment positivity. You can choose at any moment gratitude. You can choose at any moment service. You can choose to change your mindset in an instant if you wanted to. The challenge is we're so living in our subconscious mode that we don't catch it soon enough. We don't take the action that we're proud of, and then we regret it. We regret it later on. This morning, I woke up really early. I'm very tired. I woke up at 3:45 a.m. for some reason, don't know why. Look at my watch, like 3:45 a.m. What? Oh man! Try to go back to sleep. Toss turn for about an hour, and then I got up. I was like, okay, it's 4:45. It's almost 5. Let's get up. And I got to work and started doing things. And then the crash hit me. The crash hit me. Just not enough sleep, and everything inside me wanted to shut down. I wanted to just take a complete break, not do my walk in the morning, not take the dogs out. Well, the dogs have to go out. But not do my routine, not do any of my usual stuff, not record videos. Today's a Tuesday when I record, it's video recording day. And it's in these moments, those trying times, that you have to decide who you want to be. You have to decide if you want to choose to be positive, choose to live in gratitude, choose to live in productivity, choose to live in service, or not. What would the future you think of your actions right now? And I think 95% of the time, the answer is to push a little harder, move the brake line forward, right? Where you would normally take a break, move that forward just a little bit, move the brake line forward a touch. And 5% of the time you have to be more gentle on yourself. When my family dog passed away, when I broke my neck, when all sorts of things have happened to me, just like they've happened to you, sometimes the answer is to give yourself a little more grace. to recognize how far you've come, everything that you've done with the limited amount of resources and time that you have. But I think if we default to that, then we default to staying stuck and staying small, because life is going to throw so many different challenges at you. So I think 95% of the time, that's the 5%, right? 5% of the time you give yourself more grace, you let yourself off the hook, you take the day off, you do whatever you need, especially if you're struggling with grief. If you're struggling with grief, I think you just have to work your way through it. You have to give yourself a lot of grace and a lot of time, and it will get better. And just please don't go through it alone. But almost everything else, usually the answer is to keep going, because it'll make you more proud, because you're teaching yourself that you stand up to obstacles, that you overcome. So this morning I woke up, I got out of bed, I was instantly productive, like, okay, I'm wired for whatever reason, here we go, let's go. Answering my Discord messages. You're not on Discord, evancarmichael.biz. I'm there every morning. It's super fun, answering questions. It's such a great community. So I did my Discord, looked at responding to my emails and Twitter, and I got all my work done super late. Then the crash hits, and then Nina wakes up and time to make videos. And I don't want to make videos. You know, I'm tired. I feel like I'm gonna let myself down, and I feel like I'm gonna let you down, is the honest answer. Not that I don't want to make videos, but because I don't enjoy them. I feel like it won't be at my best, and then I won't create something that I'm proud of, and I'm gonna let you guys down. That's really the internal narrative. You know, I'm gonna create a subpar product, and people who watch are gonna be disappointed, because I take it as a big responsibility that, you know, some of you start your day every day with one of my videos. It means a lot to me. It's not a burden, but a responsibility that I take, and I want to make something that I'm proud of and that helps you improve your life today. At least gives you a little kickstart, you know? Like, let's go, let's have a great, I want to be able to bring that energy. And I was worried that this morning I wouldn't be able to do it. But you know what? Good enough reason. It's not a good enough reason. As long as you believe those reasons, you will never create anything great. Because if you wait to have the right energy, the perfect timing, the right amount of sleep, the perfect cell phone or video camera, microphone, you know, just, it will never happen. Create anything great. And I had to remind myself of that, because you can choose positivity at any moment. You can choose service, you can choose gratitude, you can choose productivity at any moment. You can choose it if you want to. If you really want to, you can, instead of negative patterns. And so, you know, I told her I was tired, told her I had a rough night. Super well. Really bad, but I slept so great. Well, I'm very tired right now. And right away, then that's okay. Going out, because Nina's shopping at Costco. I'm in Costco parking lot. I think you can't make content. Like, I'm sitting here in the Costco parking lot filming videos for you guys. And I asked her, when are we going out? When do you want to go shopping? Because I'm gonna get my phone ready. And in that instant, I decided, and then committing to her made it happen. And here I am in the car making the videos happen. And hopefully there's something good, and I'm not disappointing you guys. But at the very least, when you show up when the world's against you, or had a rough day, or when you don't feel like it, or when you got a nasty comment, or you're whatever reason, you still show up. Like, when it's hard, and you still show up, build the most self-belief from doing difficult things. And what it does is it reinforces your identity. That so sometimes something comes up, handle it more. It's to fall down, but even if are telling you you can do it, if you tell yourself that you can't, next time it comes up, you reinforce that you can't do it, and you can't do it, and you can't do it. And what you've built is an automatic pattern of you don't follow through, that you can't do it, that when you're not going to follow through. start and then you're going to stop. That when something gets hard, you know you're going to give quit in a couple days. The pattern becomes the identity, right? Simple. You could be the person who always delivers. You could be the person who always brings. You could be that person. You may not believe that. That become your new identity. Or other people who are like. One of the reasons why I was able to get up and do this today was because I watch John Astoraf and Oprah Winfrey and these people. I know John Astoraf. He's become a friend. Oh, Steve Jobs or Oprah Winfrey. I don't know Oprah yet. But call them up and ask them a question. You can learn from them. You can still be doing things. Have you ever been and you got inspired? Race, like, yeah, the underdog. You like dog stories. You ever seen an underdog go off and win? It makes you go not run a race, but do you ever been inspired by somebody else's obstacle story? So people and in their life believe that you can too. Most of the people that we're surrounded by are already they're not even trying, right? When we're content that this is our the people say I'm have to do this. Could ever do this? Just go and play a computer game, watch TV, right? Just go and get distracted, but you know you're not doing it, right? Just all day like everybody else, right? When you're around that, then it's so easy rabbit hole when you're not at your A game. So around the people, again, if you don't know them personally, videos you watch. That's why I make this content, that I can introduce you to people, new ideas and belief that hopefully inspires you daily. You might be having a rough day, so that's step one, and do something. People say motivation doesn't last. Well, the point of so I'm waking. But before Discord first, Discord. As I'm working, I've got I had Bill Gates on, old Richard, and their voice, and Nina. It's like, okay, right? And I don't know any of them personally, but the whole point of that motivation. Listen to say, Evan, you need today. You said you're going to do it. You're going to make it the best you can. Let's go. Because it's telling me, what would you? Motivation. I that choose votes and
Now I like dollars, I like diamonds, I like stunning, I like shining, I like $1,000,000 deals. Where's my pen? I'm signing. I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. I like going to the jeweler, I put rocks all in my watch. I like texts from my exes when they want a second chance. I like moving on, I do what they say I can't. They call me Cardi, Cardi, banging body, spicy mommy, hot tamale, hotter than a Somali. Virgo, Ferrari, hop up the stoop, jump in the coupe. Big dip on top of the roof, flexing on as hard as I can. Eating halal, driving a lamb. So that bitch, I'm sorry though. Got my coins like Mario. Yeah, they call me Cardi B. I run this shit like cardio. I'm in district in the chain. Certified, you know I'm gang, 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 gang. Drop the top and blow the brand. Oh, he's so handsome, what's his name? I need the dollars to beat it up like piñata. Turn the jobs, close the curtains. Bad chicks make you nervous.
Chambean, chambean, pero no jalan. Tú compras todas las Jolambo, a mí me las regalan. I spend in the club, what you have in the bank. This is the new religion bank, el latino gang. Yeah, está toda servieta, pero es que en el closet tengo mucha grasa. La mudé la Gucci pa' dentro de casa, yeah. A ti no te conocen ni en plaza. El diablo me llama, pero Jesucristo me abraza. Guerrero como Eddie, que viva la raza. Me gustan boricua, me gustan cubana. Me gusta el acento de la colombiana. Como me ve la dominicana. Lo rico que me chinga la venezolana. Andamos activos, perico, pim, pim. Billetes de 100 en el maletín. Que retumbe el bajo y Valentín, yeah. Aquí prohibido amar, dile charitín. Que per pico le tengo claritín. Yo llego a la disco y se forma el motín.
I'm in district in the chain. Certified, you know I'm gang, 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 gang. Drop the top and blow the brand. Oh, he's so handsome, what's his name? I need the dollars to beat it up like piñata. Turn the jobs, close the curtains. Bad chicks make you nervous.
Como se familia cruz tengo el azúcar. Tú que va medio y se fue de pecho como Ginny Luca. Te vamos a tumbar la peluca y arranca pa'l que carajo. Que a ti no te va a pasar la boca. Mi tenis Valenciaga me reciben en la entrada. Para, sí, like I'm Lady Gaga. Y no te me hagas, que en cover de vivo tú has visto mi cara. No salgo de tu mente, donde quiera que viajes, he escuchado mi gente. Ya no soy high, soy como el testa rosa. Soy el que se la vive y también el que la goza. Es la cosa, mami es la cosa. El que mira sufre y el que toca goza. I said I like it like that.
I said I like it like that.
I said I like it like that.
I said I like it like that. Diamond district in the chain. Certified, you know I'm gang. Drop the top and blow the brand. Oh, he's so handsome, what's his name? Yeah.
Feel the power of your determination taking control of your breathing. Feel the power of your presence, your gift, right now in this moment. Now think about you doing your best today on all the exercises we do together in the gym of life. See, we are so powerful, we get to think, create, imagine in our minds, and make real in the world. And that goes with everything. The way we do our exercises to the best of our ability is the same way we can do anything to the best of our ability. All right, good morning, determination. How's everyone today? Here we are again, another day in the gym of life. Again, circumstances may not be ideal. Perhaps this is not exactly where we want to be right now, but we're going to make the best of it. So let's do this together. Here we go. When I say go, we're going to start jogging on the spot. Or if you want, you can simply do your best walk on the spot. Okay, here we go together. And go. Always doing our best with whatever we got, whatever we've been given. The gym of life is everywhere, it never ends. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever your situation is, if you're here right now watching this video, we are together, we are united, mind and body. All right, let's feel that body warming up, our blood starting to flow. Keep going, almost there. And stop. All right. Walking back and forth, side to side, within the space that you have. or simply walking on the spot if that's all the space you have. Again, feel the power of you regaining control of your breathing. Showing your body who's boss. Showing your mind who's boss. The way we take control of that breathing, same way we can take control of our lives. One breath at a time, one thought at a time. All right, everyone, let's do some shoulder rolls. Here we go. Shoulder rolls, 10 forward. And backwards. Once again, feel the pure joy of you, your presence, your being, right here, right now. Feel the gratitude that you can show for being able to move your body. All right, arm circles forward, arm circles forward, 10 forward. And backwards. All right, okay, hands on our hips, bend our knees, and let's side stretch. 5 on each side. Keep those knees bent. All right, and let's twist our bodies. 5 on each side again. Feet flat on the floor. Just twisting our hips. All right, let's do 5 push-ups. We're going. That's 5 push-ups. Here we go. If you gotta keep your knees down on the ground, you can do that. Okay, 5 sit-ups. All right, let's do 5 squats. Here we go. Best 5 squats ever. All the way down, all the way up. Good. All right, let's do lunges. 3 on each side. Arms out. Okay, let's do 10-second planks. Belly's knees off the ground. All right, good, everyone. Excellent. And stand up. And let's reach for the ceiling or the sky, wherever we are. Here we go. On your toes. Hold it for 10 seconds. Feel the power of you reaching your best, no matter what. All right. And let's reach for our toes, straight knees. Again, it's okay if you don't touch your toes, just reach. Safely, without hurting yourself. You should just feel a pull. You shouldn't feel pain. Okay, come on back up. And let's work on our balance. Grab one leg. Find that balance. Bend the other knee if you have to. And pull back your heel towards your bottom. Pull that thigh back. Hold it for 10 seconds. Feel the power of you finding your balance right now. And switch. The other one. Feel the power of all of us together in this moment, united, doing our best together on these stretches and exercises. All right, and switch. This time hug your knee, the other side. And work hard to find that balance. Think about what you're doing. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Okay, and switch the other one. Again, bend the other knee as you pull one up and hug the one knee. Okay, good. All right, and let's sit down. Let's do our V-shaped stretch by reaching for the floor as far away from your body as you can. Hold it for 10. And reach for one side. Hold it there. And switch to the other side. Okay, feet together and gently push your knees down with your elbows. Hold it there. Again, enjoy fully the process of what we're doing. Working on our bodies and working on our mind. Every stretch, every movement, everything. Okay, one leg forward, one leg back. Keep the knee on the ground, go as far back as you can. And switch, other side. As far back as you can, hold that knee down. Always reach. One for a little bit more than you did last time. Alright, okay, and legs crossed. Actually, before we do that, let's roll onto our bellies. And let's push the floor and look up at the sky or ceiling. Hold it for 10. Here we go. Alright, and now legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Focused on our breathing. Tapping into that power. That power to see first in your mind what you want to bring out into the world. That's our determination, our greatest power ever. Always available to us. So right now I'm going to see myself doing the best I can to hold the plank position for one song, and then the best I can to hold my side plank positions for the rest of the other song. 2 songs today for me. What about you? What are you going to see in your mind? What exercise are you going to visualize right now? You know, visualize yourself doing your best dance, your best jog, your best squats, your best sit-ups, your best jumping jacks, whatever it is. See it in your mind right now before you bring it out into the world. Okay, here I go, plank position, holding it as long as I can. Here we go. What about you? What are you working on right now? Whatever you're doing, do it to the best of your ability and feel the joy. Feel the power of you loving what you're doing right now. That's why I love the gym of life. It goes wherever we go. Whether we're at school, whether we're at work, at home, we have that power. We have that power to control our minds, to do our best on whatever it is we're doing. Whether it's a plank, whether it's sitting down, your legs crossed, your back straight, meditating, whether it's reading a book, whether it's being your best kind to your friends, your family, do it with everything you got, every part of your being. You were born to do that. No matter what's going on around you, you control what goes on inside your mind, and therefore what goes on in your body. Always remember your breathing. Always breathe. I love the joy of feeling that moment when it comes, when my body wants to quit, when the discomfort is getting to be too much. And then I stand in that space, and I get to determine. I get to choose. I get to make the winning choice. That's determination. To keep going as much as I can, a little bit more than last time. I feel my muscles achy, trembling. But I get to choose. No, I get to determine. I get to make the winning choice of not giving up, no matter what. And if I do choose and lose, I give up, I get to come back again and again. Every single time. It's the same power you have. We all have. No matter what. Alrighty. Proud of my effort there. Next song, I'm gonna hold the side plank position for one side and then side planks for the other side. Show you in a moment. How about you? You proud of your effort so far? Keep going, everybody. Keep going. Keep moving. Moving is winning. Doing our best is winning. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing. That's the gym of life. Here we go. You can feel free to do what I'm doing, or again, if you want to decide to do something else, something that you want to improve on from last time, an exercise, whatever it is, keep doing it, keep going, do your best, try to do a little bit better than last time. That's your determination. You get to use it wherever you go, wherever you are. You get to determine, you get to win, make the winning, accurate, kind, peaceful, loving, positive choice to keep going, to keep finding out how unlimited you really are. I'm just trying to hold my my body in a plank position with my one elbow down, other arm on the side of my body, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm lifted off the ground. The other side too. That'll be my exercise for today. How about you? Keep going, whatever you're doing. If you're dancing, you're doing jumping jacks, doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats, whatever it is, keep going. Other side now. Try to hold it for the duration of the song. If not, I'm gonna keep going. Even if I fall down or stop, get right back up and keep moving. Always do my best, always seeking and striving for my best, for our best. The more I do my best, the more I believe others around want to do their best. And that goes for you. That's how powerful we are. You doing your best right now, wherever you are, whatever exercise you're doing, that's the same process that other people can be inspired by. Really simple. Just live. Be your best. Be your true being. Don't let negativity, don't let fear, don't let the pain, the discomfort stop you forever. Keep going. find out your pure joy, your happiness. All through your body and your mind, together as one. Song's not over. Gotta get back up, gotta keep going. Let's do the other side. You too, keep going till the music stops. Don't stop, keep going. All right, excellent job. And let's bring it back. Let's connect our breathing. To our body, to our mind, to our energy. To our energy of determination. That's right. We determine. We don't choose to lose, give up, believe lies, give in to fear. We don't do that. We don't give in to anxiety, stress, things that are not the truth of who we are. The way you did your best today, whatever exercises, stretches you chose to do, it's the same process you get to use here, now, wherever you go. In the gym of life. You get to grow your mind. You get to grow your mind health and your mind wealth. It's all possible if you determine, make the winning choice to be kind, to be peaceful, caring, loving, appreciative, grateful for everything you have here and now. I'm so grateful for my breath right now. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for our being, what we all truly are. I'm proud of my effort today, and I hope you are proud of yours. Because that effort, that process, that determination you use, it's available to you all the time. It's your greatest gift. So don't ever give up on using your determination to be your true, kind, positive, loving self. To control your own mind, no matter what is going on outside of it. You are infinitely intelligent, powerful beyond measure, and you get to work now more than ever. Your own mind, your own body, your own energy. Making yourself better now so that you can be better forever. I love you, everyone. Have a great week. Have a great day. Enjoy your life every moment, no matter what. We are united always. Love you guys. Good morning, guys. Today, in our top 10 rules for success, we're introduced to Oprah Winfrey. She, for most of us, needs no explanation, but for those of us that don't know her, she has come from a background that many of us can't even imagine. So she was born into poverty in Mississippi to a teenage mom, and she has risen to become one of the greatest philanthropists in human history. And she tells us today, and it stands out for me, this quote, that we all deeply want to express the highest form of our humanity, of ourselves. So that's the truest need and desire for all of us, is to express that highest form of human expression. And to do that, we have to work hard. It takes a lot of hard work, but we have to align ourselves with correct principles. So we have to constantly be working at finding what are correct principles and aligning our values with that. So I hope we do that each and every moment. Have a great day, everybody.
In order to step into the most powerful version of yourself, you need to have clarity of intention. You need to know not just what you want, but why you want it. Put your honor where your mouth is. When you give your word, keep it. Show up. Do the work. Get your hands dirty. I love being number one. I love winning. But it's the times when things go wrong, when you fall or fail, that you're actually going to learn the most about yourself. I learned back in the 80s after reading Gary Zukav's book, Seed of the Soul. So in that book, he speaks of cause and effect. That's the third law of motion in physics, which says that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, also known as karma, or what goes around comes around. And before there is a cause or action, there is always an intention that fuels that action, a motivation or reason behind the action. The reaction will reflect what that intention is. For example, I used to have the disease to please. I lived that way until my late 40s, saying yes to things when I really wanted to say no. Can anybody relate to that? Why would I say yes? Because I didn't want to upset anybody. And I never did. Because when your main intention is pleasing other people, they do that, get pleased, then keep asking you for more until you're the one who's upset. So this principle is at work in big and small ways all the time. Someone apologizes to you, but they're not really sorry. What you hear is their words, but you feel the energy of their intention. We see this often in relationships where the intention is to have a big splashy ceremony and all the energy goes into making a fantastical wedding with no clarity of intention for what the day-to-day marriage will look like. Well, learning this principle of intention was a life-altering, life-enhancing, transformational experience for me. It changed everything. The way I moved through the world, the way I did business, who I chose to work with, everything. It is, I believe, the one reason that the Oprah Winfrey Show was #1 for 25 years, because we were an intentional show with not just a mission, but a daily practice, a mission to use television to uplift, enlighten, and entertain. And that was because after learning this principle, I brought my whole team together and said, from this day forward, we do not do a show unless we are aligned in our intention. So when y'all bring me an idea, state your intention at the top. And my yes will come only if I can feel that I can accomplish or align with whatever you're doing. So you want an interview? Tell me what the intention is. What do you want? I ask every guest that I'm interviewing with, from Whitney Houston to my sit-downs with Lance Armstrong, Shaka Senghor, the mother who lost her daughter to domestic violence, and most recently, even Harry and Meghan. Before the interview, I say, tell me your intention. So you get the idea. Intention is ruling your life whether or not you're aware. It is law. It is one with cause and effect, and you can't have action or reaction without it. So in order to step into the most powerful version of yourself, you need to have clarity of intention. You need to know not just what you want, but why you want it. So let's start by setting your intention for this week. And after today, we're going to meet every week going forward to create a more intentional life, to discuss what needs to happen and what will be your why, your motivation for making it so. It all starts with thinking about why you do the things you do. And if you're not getting the results you want, don't look at the results. Look at what fueled it, the intention.
Need motivation?
Watch the top 10 on Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. You get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Oprah Winfrey, and my take on her top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, embrace failure.
Let failure be your friend. There are going to be times, of course, where you're going to win a lot. A lot of things are going to go your way. And it's wonderful to bask in that adulation and to feel proud of your successes. But there are also going to be times, the satisfaction that those moments bring, nothing can compare to that. Those victories will feed you for years to come and help you stay committed when your tank is sometimes empty. Winning is great. It's fantastic. I love it. I love being number one. I love winning. But it's the times when things go wrong, when you fall or fail, that you're actually going to learn the most about yourself. You know, all those years on the Oprah show, 25 years, we were the number one show for 25 years. And that's because I lived with the intention to serve the audience. The audience came first every show. I would sit with the producers and say, well, I can't do that because I can't find the truth of myself in that show. I have to have a thread of truth to be able to hold on to. So I knew so well the audience. I felt like I was the audience. The audience was me. And I felt so connected. And then I ended that and started a new network. And I flailed for a while. And I was really upset with myself. But I will tell you that when I was able to shift the paradigm to start to looking at, wow, what I have instead of what I don't have, what I have instead of what I thought I'd lost, I was able to begin to turn things around. But it's those moments of uncertainty. It's the moments where, you know, all of my mistakes show up on the evening news. You can make a mistake. I can tell if I've done something wrong. It's on the CNN crawl. I can read about it. But learning from the moments where things weren't going so great, being able to get still, to connect with that which I know is God, the force, the power greater than myself, and to come back and realize that in order to move forward, you move forward by taking the next right step. You don't have to know everything to do. You don't have to know all the steps to make. Just what is the next right move.
Rule number 3, care enough to try.
It's true. You can't personally stop anybody from walking into a school with an assault rifle, nor can you single-handedly ensure that the rights that your mothers and your grandmothers fought so hard for will be preserved for the daughters that you may someday have. And it'll take more than you alone to pull 40 million Americans out of poverty. But who will you be if you don't care enough to try? And what mountains could we move, I think? What gridlock could we eradicate if we were to join forces and work together in service of something greater than ourselves? You know, my deepest satisfaction and my biggest rewards have come from exactly that. Pick a problem. Any problem, and do something about it. Because to somebody who's hurting, something is everything.
Rule number 4, create meaningful connections.
I wanted to share with you this line from Brené Brown's latest extraordinary new book, Atlas of the Heart, that will be available come this Tuesday, November 30th. She says, our connection with others can only be as deep as our connection with ourselves. That's what we're talking about this week. And there perhaps is no time in recent memory when it's more necessary to actually cultivate empathy and connection in order to make sense of the profound changes that we're all undergoing. We just, everywhere we turn, we can't grapple with the many urgent issues facing us and facing our planet without understanding ourselves first. And in Atlas of the Heart, Brené and her team of researchers and therapists and educators and others have so richly explored how to cultivate an emotional vocabulary. Like, we need the words, the language, the expressions that help us process and identify what it is we're feeling and what is happening to us, and to be able to communicate that to other people. And what they've discovered is that without that, we won't find the solid ground within us that gives us the courage and the confidence to embrace love, to embrace happiness and our own vulnerability, to face and transcend our pains, or to navigate the great uncertainty that is the human condition. So in Brené's words, she says, with an adventurous heart and the right maps, we can travel anywhere and never fear losing ourselves, even when we don't know where we are. I just love that. The solid ground, the anchor we're searching for, is connection, and it is within each of us. But to forge meaningful connections with others, again, we have to first connect with ourselves. And I know we're doing a lot of connecting this week with family and friends. We have to establish a common understanding of the language of emotions and human experience in order to do that.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, get still.
As you're trying to figure out, what do I do? How should I do it? First of all, I will say this, that when you don't know what to do, my girls have heard this over 100 times. When you don't know what to do, you do nothing. You get still until you do know. Because when you have to ask everybody else, should I do this, should I, and that's whether it's buying a pair of shoes or going with a guy, buying a house, taking a job, should I? When you have to ask everybody else, it means you don't really know the answer fully yourself. So you get still, be still, and know the answer will come.
Rule number 6, stand for something.
Here are variations on a few grand themes, beginning with this. Pick a problem, any problem. The list is long. Here are just a few that are at the top of my list. There's gun violence, and there's climate change and systemic racism, economic inequality, media bias, the homeless need opportunity, the addicted need treatment, the dreamers need protection, the prison system needs reforming, the LGBTQ community needs acceptance, the social safety net needs saving, and the misogyny needs to stop. Needs to stop. But you can't fix everything. And you can't save every soul. But what can you do? Here and now, I believe you have to declare war on one of our most dangerous enemies, and that is cynicism. Because when that little creature sinks in, its hooks into you, it'll cloud your clarity, it'll compromise your integrity, it'll lower your standards, it'll choke your empathy, and sooner or later, cynicism shatters your faith. When you hear yourself saying, oh, it doesn't matter what one person says, oh, well, so what? It's not going to make any difference what I do. Who cares? When you hear yourself saying that, know that you're on a collision course for our culture. And I understand how it's so easy to become disillusioned, so tempting to allow apathy to set in, because anxiety is being broadcast on 157 channels, 24 hours a day, all night long. And everybody I know is feeling it. But these times are here to let us know that we need to take a stand for our right to have hope. And we need to take a stand with every ounce of wit and courage we can muster. The question is, what are you willing to stand for? That question is going to follow you throughout your life. And here's how you answer it. You put your honor where your mouth is. Put your honor where your mouth is. When you give your word, keep it. Show up, do the work, Get your hands dirty. And then you'll begin to draw strength from the understanding, the true knowing that history is still being written. You're writing it every day. The wheel's still in spin, and what you do or what you don't do will be a part of it.
Rule number 7, have constructive engagement.
More than ever, I would have to say, I miss the Oprah Winfrey Show. I chose to let it go. I felt that I'd said everything I needed to say after 25 years, and I wanted it to be my decision when I let it go. But I will say this past year, and now more than ever, I miss it because I miss the opportunity for the spirit of constructive engagement that that platform offered. So 2 weeks after the election last year, I went to a diner in Queens for Oprah Magazine with a group of women. Half of them were Trump supporters, half of them were Hillary supporters. Nobody wanted to come to breakfast. I was like, it's gonna be some great croissants. We're gonna have some nice jams, ladies. Nobody wanted to sit down and have the croissants. So everybody came in the room all tight and hardened. And so I was able to, they were like, well, I've never been this close to these Hillary elitists. I've never been this close. And there other people were saying, well, I never sat this close to Trump supporter before, but we're gonna do it. I will tell you, after 2.5 hours, I had those women not only eating croissants, sitting around the table, listening to each other's stories, hearing both sides. And by the end, they were holding hands, exchanging emails and phone numbers and singing Reach Out and Touch. We're all pretending to be Diana Ross, which means it's possible, it can happen. So I want you to work in your own way to change the world in respectful conversations with others at a rate and a rhythm that's in tune with the source from which you have come, your truth. And I want you to enter every situation aware of its context, open to hear the truths of others, and most important, open to letting the process of changing the world change you. That is the spirit of constructive engagement. So that's the goal, to be a compassionate woman of substance, to be committed, to have constructive engagement, to live this life of substance. Substance. What I know for sure is if you focus on the substance, the success will come.
Rule number 8, choose you.
These past few weeks, I've been thinking a lot about Adele and our one night only conversation that we had for CBS. Such a beautiful conversation and concert and beautiful album. You can feel her heart and soul in every lyric on 30. Her emotional pain, she seems to have used as her muse. I said that to her during our conversation. And you know by now that she wrote that album while going through a divorce. And she told me that she left her marriage in pursuit of her own happiness. And she has so many meaningful things to say about choosing you and not being guilty about it. The pursuit of your own happiness is enough of a reason to make a major change, like Adele did. Let that sink in for a minute. So how did Adele find the bravery to trust herself and uproot her life? I asked her just that, and her answer struck me. She told me that she imagined the person she would want her 9-year-old son to know. When she was unhappy, which she was in the marriage, her son, wasn't getting the best version of her. So Adele dedicated the album to him as a way of telling him what she was going through. So, of course, Adele's situation is specific to her, but the greater lesson can apply to just everyone. So many women stay in miserable situations, whether it's their job, their friendships, romantic relationships, and even encounters with family members because they don't feel they have the strength or the right to let go. They might feel scared to put themselves first, to listen to that voice that's in your spirit saying, do what's best for you, make the change. The best thing I gathered from this new 30 album, along with being soothed by the music, it's such a great album, is an even more compelling understanding that choosing happiness for yourself is what truly allows you to begin bringing happiness to other people. So during the holiday season, we've already been conditioned to give and give and give and give and give and give and give to others, but it's important to make time for yourself too. That care is the gift you give to yourself. And that's what we're taking away from this week, I'm hoping. Being able to choose what's right for you and knowing when it is right.
Rule number 9, serve.
I was not your age, but about 30 years old, I started to realize that it was my whole life, not just parts of my life, just not parts of what I was doing, but my whole life was a prayer. My whole life is an offering in service, first to yourself, to become a fully actualized human being. And you do that through your actions and your interactions with others. But when I started to realize it's not just what I do, but it's how I do it. It's how I'm not just praying on my knees, but I live in a state of humility on my knees in service to the higher calling of my life, that things started to change.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is inspire and motivate.
Eat a good breakfast. It really pays off. Pay your bills on time. Recycle, make your bed. Aim high. Say thank you to people and actually really mean it. Ask for help when you need it. And put your phone away at the dinner table. Just sit on it, really. And know that what you tweet and post in Instagram today might be asked about in a job interview tomorrow or 20 years from tomorrow. Be nice to little kids, be nice to your elders, be nice to animals, and know that it's better to be interested than interesting. Invest in a quality mattress. I'm telling you, your back will thank you later. And don't cheap out on your shoes. And if you're fighting with someone you really love, for God's sakes, find your way back to them, because life is short even on our longest days. And another thing you already know that definitely bears repeating, don't ever confuse what is legal with what is moral, because they are entirely different animals. You see, in a court of law, there are loopholes and technicalities and bargains to be struck, but in life, you're either principled or you're not. So do the right thing, especially when nobody's looking. And while I'm at it, do not equate money and fame with accomplishment and character, because I can assure you, based on the thousands of people I've interviewed, one does not automatically follow the other. Something else, you need to know this. Your job is not always going to fulfill you. There will be some days that you just might be bored. Other days, you may not feel like going to work at all. Go anyway. And remember that your job is not who you are. It's just what you're doing on the way to who you will become. Every remedial chore, every boss who takes credit for your ideas, that is going to happen. Look for the lessons, because the lessons are always there. I was inspired by yet another book, Will Smith, who has just released his memoir. And I'm telling you, it's a remarkable achievement. It's so honest and packed with so many wonderful life lessons and aha moments. And yet it sounds just like Will's voice, because he wrote it. And one of those life lessons that really stuck with me is a story he tells from his childhood growing up in West Philadelphia about building a brick wall. Yes, an actual brick wall. He was 11 years old, and his father needed a new wall constructed in front of his shop, a 12-foot high, 20-foot long wall to replace an old one that was crumbling. And his father, who the family called Daddy-O, assigned the job to Will and his brother Harry. And first Daddy-O demolished the old wall, leaving this big gaping hole. And then it was up to Will and his brother Harry to build a new one, brick by brick. Now, Will describes that task. He says it seemed overwhelming and endless, and their father didn't care if it was raining or cold, if his sons didn't feel like working that day. Week after week, they worked to rebuild that wall, yet they didn't feel they were ever making any progress. And so the two little boys now are working on holidays, during their vacations, on the weekends, over the course of a year. They mixed concrete and toted that what seemed to seem like millions of bricks back and forth. And if they were in bad moods or sick or had tests to take the next day, Daddy-O didn't care. That wall had to be built. And on a day that they were in a particularly stark mood, as Will describes it, they protested to their father that the job was impossible, that it was ridiculous that these two little boys are being asked to build this wall and that it would never get done. So here's where the aha moment came. Tired of hearing his sons complain, Will's father, Daddy-O, threw down his tools, walked over to the wall to be and said, "Stop thinking about the damn wall. There is no wall. There are only bricks. And your job is to lay this brick perfectly, then move on to the next brick, then lay that brick perfectly, then the next one. Don't be worrying about no wall. Your only concern is one brick." And Will says that sunk in, and he writes that when I focused on the wall, the job felt impossible, never ending. But when I focused on the brick, just one brick, everything got easier. As the weeks passed, the bricks mounted and the hole got just a little bit smaller. I started to see that the difference between a task that feels impossible and a task that feels doable is merely a matter of perspective. Are you paying attention to the wall or are you paying attention to the brick? So when life feels overwhelming, when a task at hand is daunting, when you look ahead and you think, oh no, it's just too much, can't do that, you can take Daddy-O's advice and think about things brick by brick. I just loved this analogy. One brick at a time. One baby step at a time if necessary. So that's a half a brick if need be. Will writes that every single day, no matter where you are going or what you're going through, there's always another brick sitting right there in front of you, waiting to be laid. The only question, are you going to get up and lay it? So this week, everybody, just take things brick by brick. And before you know it, what felt like a wall that was impossible to build, that grief you thought you'd be impossible to endure, that achievement you thought was out of your grasp, you'll suddenly find that, yep, you have built a wall. You made it through. One brick at a time. It doesn't matter how far you might rise. At some point, you are bound to stumble, because if you're constantly doing what we do, raising the bar, if you're constantly pushing yourself higher, higher, the law of averages, not to mention the myth of Icarus, predicts that you will at some point fall. And when you do, I want you to know this, remember this, there is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction. Now, when you're down there in a hole, it looks like failure. So this past year, I had to spoon feed those words to myself. And when you're down in the hole, when that moment comes, it's really okay to feel bad for a little while. Give yourself time to mourn what you think you may have lost. But then, here's the key. Learn from every mistake, because every experience, encounter, and particularly your mistakes are there to teach you and force you into being more of who you are. The greatest lesson I've learned throughout my career came from Maya Angelou, actually, when I was, first meeting her. And after I'd known her for a while, she said, baby, you need to know that when people show you who they are, you believe them the first time, Oh, you know that lesson too now. Uh, First time. And your problem is it takes you 29 times to see the same lesson coming in a different skirt or wearing a different pair of pants. So I think that has been one of my greatest wisdom teachings, is to assess from people's behavior, their actions, not just towards me, but towards other people, who they are and how they behave, because if people talk about other people, they'll talk about you. So I think in business and in personal relationships, that's also been my greatest lesson. The challenge of life, I have found, is to build a resume that doesn't simply tell a story about what you want to be, but it's a story about who you want to be. It's a resume that doesn't just tell a story about what you want to accomplish, but why. A story that's not just a collection of titles and positions, but a story that's really about your purpose. Because when you inevitably stumble and find yourself stuck in a hole, that is the story that will get you out. What is your true calling? What is your dharma? What is your purpose? The way to make movies is to do stuff that you love, because, you know, for 25 years I worked on The Oprah Show, and Stedman will tell you that there were nights that I came home and I almost, you know, it was hard to even like take off my clothes because I knew I was going to be getting up 4 hours later. But I never really felt exhausted. I felt exhausted, but I never felt depleted. So do the work that comes straight from the soul of you, from your background, from stories that you've grown up with, from stories that bring you passion, from stories that you not just yearn to tell, but that if you don't tell them, they won't get told. And when you are operating, you know, the single greatest wisdom I think I've ever received, other than when people show you who they are, is that the key to fulfillment, success, happiness, contentment in life is when you align your personality with what your soul actually came to do. I believe everybody has a soul and has, you know, their own personal spiritual energy. So when you can use your personality to serve whatever that thing is, you can't help but be successful. So if you do films that come from the interior of your soul, you do work, you do art that comes from the interior of you, you cannot miss. It's only when you're doing stuff that you think might make money, you think it may be a hit, or you think it may bring you some level of attention or success. That isn't what does it. I would have to say that all of the great, wonderful experiences of my life that have brought me to this moment have come from working from the interior of myself. And so that's why it feels so authentic, because it actually is. So when you do that, you'll win. There comes
Good morning, guys. Today I want to focus on the living aspect of our path to infinite mind wealth, that freedom, peace, and happiness we all desire. And I want to share a personal story with you, and I hope it inspires you, because my deepest wish and desire in doing what I'm doing every day is for myself to be aligned with correct principles and find that freedom, peace, and happiness. But more importantly, to show you, wherever you are, no matter what you're going through, that it's possible to every single day face some of your doubts, fears, insecurities, and control this to live the life that you want. And I can tell you, in doing this each and every day, and I am so grateful for you, all of you that have given me your time and attention. It's value that I want to bring to you, but it's value, of course, that I want to bring to myself. And I can tell you it works. And I've realized all the fears, doubts, and insecurities, they're all in our mind. I can feel them being broken down every day. So I hope that inspires you. Have a great day, everybody.
empiezo a temblar, tú lo sabes muy bien, eso te mueve a ti. Como lo sabes, así nadie te gana a ti. Cuando te empiezas a mover, nadie te para a ti. Todas las chicas quisieran bailar así. Cuando suena el dembow, tú mandas por aquí. Si lo bailas, dígalo por ti. Si te sacan a bailar, tú le dices sí. Sobre mueve, sobre amén. De la cabeza a los pies, tú eres feliz. Si bailan así con el mismo sentir, con tanta candela no puedes subir. La noche está joven, no puedo dormir porque lo hacemos así. Todo el mundo diga, todo el mundo va a danzar con el dembow. Todo el mundo diga, todo el mundo diga, todo el mundo va a danzar con el dembow. Todo el mundo diga, todo el mundo diga, todo el mundo祭りだ祭りだ集まりな踊りなのみなかりさびだここは宴ばわびさび感じて雅な時間をたしなみな旗の色とか気にしない隔てるかは君次第打ち上げてみな喜びの花火ブラタタブラタタブラタ